Welcome back. Welcome to Sugaring 101. Today I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate sugaring. This is a company that I have worked with for years. It is Alexandria Professional. The nice thing about Alexandria Professional is that she only works with professionals. I say she because she is the founder and the CEO of the company. They have been around for a long time. In fact, they're one of the very first companies that reintroduced sugaring. Sugaring is a form of exfoliation. It is great for people who are very sensitive, who have sensitive skin, and that waxing tends to be a little too harsh for them. It is a method of hair removal. It is epilation, but it is more of an organic made product that is designed for very sensitive skin. All types of skin can go ahead and be sugared, but it is especially nice for those who are extremely sensitive. Sugaring is a method that has been used years back by 1900 BC in the Persian Empire, and it's just stuck throughout all these years. Sugaring is an organic product. The ingredients are three. It is very easy to make if you want to make it at home. It's like making candy. It is sugar, water, and lemon juice. That's all there is. So if you wanted to taste it, you could. It won't harm you. However, I wouldn't recommend doing it. Just like anything else, we always want to pre-test the heat of the product that we're about to apply on the guest. Now, you're noticing I can rest my hand on this and not burn myself. This is because sugaring paste is designed to be cooler. It is the same temperature as a body temperature. My digital preheat is set at 104 Fahrenheit. This is what Miss Alexandria has all of her timers set for. You can alter it if it's a different type of sugaring, but this is sugar paste. This is a stripless hair removal method, and this particular sugar paste is designed to be at 104 Fahrenheit. Before you would start with anything, you would always want to sanitize your hands, making sure that you are rubbing the entire hand up the wrist in the webs of your fingers. And at least for 15 seconds. You really want to work in that hand sanitizer because gloves are very difficult to get on, especially when your hands are slightly wet. So these are the gloves that I will be using today. They are powder-free nitrile gloves. I'm going to go ahead and take a little more sanitizer because I did touch another product, and I want to make sure that I am sanitizing my hands, so therefore I am following my state law. All right, here are the gloves. Excuse me for a moment while I slip my gloves on. Sugaring is a little different than waxing, and I'm talking about hard wax and soft wax. Excuse me, that one is not working. The sugaring method is the opposite, whereas with waxing, and this is soft wax, when you soft wax, you are actually going with the growth of the hair on the application, and then you would lay your strip and you would press 1, 2, 3, and then you would take that strip and you would pull against. You would go parallel, same as with sugaring, you're going to go parallel, but you go against the hair growth with removing soft wax and hard wax. Sugaring is you're going to apply up against the hair growth. Going up against the hair growth is sticking the hair up, and that sugaring paste is going all around the opening of that follicle, being so that it will get really a great pull where it's going to remove the hair down to the root, hopefully even to the bulb. All right, I have my gloves on. I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize one more time, being sure that I have the webs of my hands taken care of. I prefer a tight glove. Waxing is better when you have a tight glove because you can actually feel a lot better. I think my next time I order, I'm going to order extra small. These are small, and I really would like to have them a little bit tighter. Okay, I am prepped and ready to go. So my first step, after going ahead and sanitizing my hand, I'm going to go ahead and use Precept. Precept is your sanitizer. It's your cleansing step. After I'm completed my sugaring demo, I will go back and I will wipe everything off with a Barbicide wipe or with some Ship Shape. So now I went ahead and put this Precept all over my leg, and I've worked that in. My next step is I'm going to go ahead and take the Vertal 6, which is a dry powder. Just like with your hard wax, you could either not use a powder or go right onto the skin, or use some oil as a barrier. This is just a sprinkle. You don't need much. Again, this is your drying powder. The powder is designed to pick up any moisture that was left over with the Precept or the pre-cleanse. I'm going to rub that in my leg. Sugaring works really good when the skin is dry. I'm going to go ahead and disinfect. Now, as I discussed earlier about the temperature setting, I'm very confident because I've already tested and I've already have reset it, and I've tested it by picking it up earlier, and I went ahead and tested it a little bit earlier. Just to save time, I'm not going to go through that again because I've already done it. With this pot, this is a personal use. So this is my own pot. I would not be using this particular tub on anybody else. What you would do if you did have a sugaring guest, before going back into the same tub, you need to re-glove. Every time you go in to get up another hunk of sugar, you must throw the old glove away, put on a new glove, sanitize before the glove and after the glove, and then you can go in. That will prevent cross-contamination. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a fairly good amount of sugar. It's like slime, as you can see. It is gooey. It's sticky. We like sticky because sticky is going to adhere to the surface of the skin. This does not stick to the skin in a bad way. It just goes on the skin, and it is a great way of removing hair, again, for those who are super sensitive. I'm going to go ahead and try and work this ball back into my balls of my fingers, so excuse me. So here it is. It is translucent. It's this beautiful golden color. And I'm going to go ahead and work it in between my fingers. As you notice, I've tipped my hand upside down because I want that ball of sugar to stay at the bottom of my fingers, not up here. It becomes messy and very difficult to work with. And you'll probably see that with me in this demonstration. And if that's the case, I'll show you that we would re-glove and grab a new. All right, so I can feel that the temperature is fine. It is on the cooler side, which is what we want. You can see that I've manipulated it. I've stretched it. It is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my first sugaring ball right there. I'm going to bend my foot so it's nice and taut. I'm going to go ahead and take my other hand, and I'm going to go ahead and press and drag up. You can see the angle of my fingers. It's slightly bent on a 45. I'm going to lift. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the exact same thing, applying pressure. I'm going to do this 3 times. Pressing, going up, working that sugar into those hair follicles. Now, I'm just flicking, excuse me. I'm going slow so you can kind of see the motion. Now I got stuck, right? So there you go. I had to go a little bit faster. It's a flicking method, just like if you wanted to flick off a bug or a leaf or something that you just went, oh, what is that? And you would flick it. It's the exact same motion. Now you can see that the color is getting a little bit whiter, more creamier. It has picked up the powder, so that's all right. I'm going to continue to work. You want to continue working with this. It feels really hard to maneuver at first, but the more you work it, and you can see that I'm just kind of like taffy, it gets a little bit more pliable. I'm going to go ahead and lay down right next to my very first pass, coming down here. The nice thing is with sugaring as well, you can go over the same spot over and over again if you did not get that stubborn hair. I'm going to just pause for a second and let that sugar fall down because I won't be able to work it if it gets up any higher. My fingers would not be able to stretch out. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that ball of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and drag it up until I don't have any more sugar. I'm going to go ahead and flip back. I'm going to go ahead and do that on the second side, getting it a little bit more coverage. I'm going to bend and lift up. Sugaring, like I said, you can do it as short as 1/16 of an inch. If you get stuck, that just means you need to kind of come back up and then go a little bit faster off, flicking it off. And you probably can't really tell and see, but I have no redness. There is no redness on my leg. And I am actually one that does not do well with waxing. My histamines pop out real easy and I get those red looking bumps. This does not create that. Now there is some contraindications here because I do have spider veins. So with spider veins, like anything else, we have to be very careful to avoid them. So with this area here, I would go around. Now, could you sugar? I would say yes, you could sugar. It's my leg and I don't want a patch of hair right there. So I would definitely myself, I could sugar that area. Just coming up the knee and pulling off. Now you can kind of see now how much color the sugar paste has changed. It is up higher now on my fingers, giving me a little bit more trouble working that product down. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it down. I'm going to go ahead and continue to rotate my leg slightly. Now if you had a guess, you would go ahead and move their leg for them. I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. And I'm going to drag it up, turn, and flick. You would do 3 passes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going a little bit faster so you can just see that I'm using the same hunk of sugar, and see how much more or how much less product you would need. You're saving more than you think you would. The cost is just amazing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this side of the leg, going up, dragging it, tilting, coming off, going up, tilting, going off. Now, you will find sometimes a different type of angle. That's entirely okay. This just happens to work best at a 45, using 2 fingers, and then I'm ready to flick. I'm doing it slowly so you can see that motion. It's like that. I'm going to go a little bit faster. You can go back and just pick up any leftover pieces of sugaring on the leg. going to go and show you in demo on my knee. So with the knee, it's the same thing. You could go ahead and have your guests bend their leg up. If it was too hard for them, let's say their knees were just a little bit more, painful, and that a lot of them don't like lifting their knee up, you could just go ahead and hold that skin tautly, go around that cap, just like anything. It's super easy, and then you'd flick. Now with a bent knee, same thing. Lay down that sugar in place, take it up, bring it up and over, doing that spreading of 3 times, and flicking off. Looks great. You can sugar any part of the body. I will say sugaring the face takes a little bit more skill. I would recommend buying little finger cots, rubber finger cots, the nitrile-free finger cots, because they're a little bit tighter around your finger. You would apply it over your gloved hand, and then you could go ahead and get in doing eyebrows. I still wax with soft wax. I love soft wax, and I would wax with soft wax, sometimes hard wax, just depending on the guest, because soft wax is a little bit more irritating than hard wax. Now, you're wondering, okay, I'm doing myself so it's easy to do because of the angle. You can work side by side. So if you have, instead of being right at the foot, you could work on the side and do these motions. Now, if someone had come in and they had shaved and they just had a little bit of growth, you could still sugar them, but you would want to remind them that shaving causes more sensitivity in between appointments. So being that, it's because the hair is thicker. It's like a haircut. It's blunt on the edges. Just like when you have your haircut, your ends feel nice and thick. Same thing. Same thing with shaving. It's only getting the surface. It's a depilation, so it's only getting the surface hair. It's not getting anything underneath. So with the shaving, they're going to feel a little more sensitivity. I would recommend them to try and not shave. Some women do not like their stubble on their legs, so this is a nice alternative because they can come more frequently with sugaring than they would with waxing, because this is designed to get the smallest of hairs. And it's wonderful because you can go over the same spot several times. All right, one last time, and we will be done. And we'll talk about it afterwards, and just save your questions, and we'll come back on Zoom and talk about sugaring. All right, so this is what you would do. You would do the front leg, the knee, upper, if it is that someone was having a full leg. You can do the toes, absolutely can do the toes. You can sugar any part of the body with sugaring, except the nose and the ears. Any type of a canal you cannot sugar because it is not a hard wax. If you had someone that came in and had a Brazilian, you would recommend prior to their appointment to come in with some loose clothing. You want the skin to be able to breathe. You don't want it to be irritated by any type of elastic band. You've just removed the hair there. It is going to be a little bit sensitive, so you want to make sure that your guest comes with loose clothing. Just like with waxing, there are going to be rules. No heat for 24 hours, no exfoliation. You don't want the skin to get warm and flushed for at least 24 hours, heat-wise. All right, that is sugaring. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my glove. Remove both gloves. Very nice. Toss in my waste can. I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize my hands. Put on another set of gloves. To finish it off, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tonic, my essential tonic. This is gonna put some hydration back into my skin. It has some myrrh and some lactic acid. Just gonna spray. Rub that in. I'm not gonna rub too much because I want the skin to absorb it. Even though that this is a nitro glove, I just don't want it to be, you know, rubbing around in my hand. I want it to stay on the skin. So just a quick little rub. And then to finish it off, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to restore. We're gonna restore the moisture. This is your lotion. This one also has lactic acid and myrrh. A little goes a long ways. You can see I just put a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and rub that into the skin. I will remind the guests to stay out of the sun and out of the heat. And if they were going to be going somewhere that they can't avoid the sun, go ahead and make sure that they're wearing sunblock. Sunblock is now a must. It's like brushing our teeth. Everybody should be wearing sunblock. The ozone layers of the rays of our environment definitely has changed, creating more harmful rays. All right, there you go. That is Sugaring 101. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.